Welcome to Between Two Speakers. I'm Randy Ford. I'm a writer and storytelling strategist at First Story Strategies.
And I'm Marianna Swallow. I'm a public speaking coach and instructor of business and professional speaking at Loyola University. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, so I want to throw in at number two, CJ Craig, the press secretary from The West Wing, played by Allison Janney. I haven't revisited The West Wing in a while. A lot of people are lately because there's a nostalgic kind of warm feeling that I think it is bringing to a lot of people. But there has not been in real life a press secretary that controls that briefing room the way CJ Craig does, with humor, with just the facts. She is playful with the reporters when needed. She is adversarial when there is not an opportunity to be playful with them. When she needs to, she is in charge, and she lets them know that. And definitely in a different way than what we see in daily press briefings right now when they happen. So that, which I think is one of the reasons that people are nostalgic for it right now.
Yeah.
So I would say if I had to learn a do and a don't from her, I would say do take the opportunities when you are getting negative things from people, which sometimes is going to happen. Maybe people are questioning you directly, or you can tell that they're not sold on something you're saying, and maybe you're not even sold on what it is that you're having to deliver as a message. But keeping cool and keeping in control of that. The don't, I would say, don't let your passion become sanctimony. And again, that is something that is a TV thing, and it's certainly an Aaron Sorkin TV thing. That's something that she brings to it. But sometimes when any of the characters on that show, when they have a big speech moment, I don't think that is something that translates in real life.
Absolutely. I wish all press secretaries could be like a second coming of CJ. But
Yeah.
to your point, I like that she is authentic and she does share what she's passionate about without being preachy. In fact, she's almost so matter of fact that her delivery in itself is a mic drop.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
agree.
Okay, let's share with our listeners, our viewers, listeners, our number one, and someone that Randy and I love very much and came in resoundingly as our number one is Parks and Recreation's Leslie Knope. Randy, you want to tell us why you love Leslie as a speaker?
I love those town hall moments, and so does she. They're the favorite part of her job, even though, and we see it early on in the series, where these town halls where people just have unruly comments, wild expectations of what the Parks and Recreation Department should be doing, and I love how she handles those, how she takes all of it in stride. She tries to please as many people as possible, and in a way she even kind of controls that. uh,
Mm-hmm.
she talks about how much she loves those moments, and I remember later in the series when she's kind of sidelined and she has to watch someone else running one of these meetings, and she couldn't stand it. She was so eager to be in what is clearly an awful position to have to be in. What
Right.
is you, or
So
what is
what I absolutely love about Leslie, I love her as a person. George Takai on his YouTube channel has a whole "Why Leslie Knope is the Perfect Role Model" vignette, which everybody should watch. But I love to see her not only in those town halls, but when she has these like shining moments, like when she was sick, but she had to make a speech to all the business owners to support the Harvest Fest.
oh yeah.
And yeah, and that I think that one resonates with me because I'm the person who, even if I'm not feeling 100%, I will bring it. And that's what she does in that episode. And that's what wins over the business owners. So that would be one of my do's from Leslie Knope is bring it. When it's your turn to speak, no matter what's going on, just focus for those 10, 20, 30 minutes and bring it no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other example I love is I think it was in season 5 when she had to give a sex ed talk to the seniors of the community because there was an STD going around. And someone tried to tell her that no, she couldn't do that and it was shameful. And technically, I guess there was a law on the books, but back to the authentic self, she saw a problem that she wanted to help solve. And she just plowed ahead and said, you know what? I don't care about your arcane rules. I'm going to give some education here. And she did. And she was straightforward and funny. And of course, the reactions from the seniors and people like Andy and her coworkers were very funny. But Leslie just, she brings it and she owns her role. And especially when she sees it as an opportunity to solve a problem, she does it.
Yeah. Is there, I'll say my do that I have learned from her, because of course, also don't forget her most, that amazing speech that she really, it wasn't even about the speech, which is that moment of her campaign launch in the middle of the ice rink, when they can't quite get there, and Get on Your Feet keeps playing. It's just a classic moment. But
Right.
a do from her is take those, and this applies, I think, if we go back to CJ too.
Hmm.
Um, Take those moments when you're getting negative things as opportunities to take control of the room. So if somebody is saying something to you, they're giving you an opportunity, and maybe it's they're saying something that's on other people's mind, and you may not want people to leave that room thinking that. So it may be a blessing that someone is bringing this up, and every one of those questions is an opportunity to control your answer and try to get control back of your audience.
That's a great point. I love it. One more example, which I'll make it a don't, but then I'll also make it a do. When she is in London accepting a Women in Government Award for women around the world, this was also when people were trying to have her recalled and questioning her election. So she was kind of angry at the people of Pawnee. So while she went up to accept her award in London, she made a speech wherein she said, "I hate the people of Pawnee, they're all pee-pee heads." And then after she got off the stage, she found out that the entire speech was being webcast to all of Pawnee. So don't call your cohorts or people you represent PP heads, but do find out. And I teach this to people who do webinars, Zoom calls. What are the technical specifications? Is this being recorded? Is it being broadcast? Do you need some special equipment? Leslie probably would not have called the town PP heads if she knew that, yes, this was being broadcast around the world.
Right, absolutely. If I had one lesson that I would want to learn from her that I would consider a don't, it is don't overplan your use of humor. Some people are funny, some people aren't. What is almost never funny is an over-scripted, over-rehearsed joke. And
Yes.
when she tries those, they fall flat. You mentioned the sex ed at the senior center.
Hmm.
She was very authentically funny in that moment because
Hmm.
she was being her authentic self, and it happened to be funny. There were some times where she had scripted jokes
Yes.
that fell flat hilariously for us as the outside
Right.
audience. But for her, it's a good lesson, I think, for all of us.
Absolutely, agreed. And this is, people often ask, can I put a joke in there? And I think what people need to understand, there's a difference between humor and jokes. Humor, yes. Jokes, not so much.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great point. I like that as a way to. I like the pointing out that there's a fine line there.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you for sharing in our conversation as we discuss our top 5 speakers. Feel free to go to my contact form and let us know who are your favorite fictional speakers. So for Between Two Speakers, I'm Mare Swallow.
And I'm Randy Ford. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next time.
See you next time. Bye bye.